This is a production of Gordon College's Scott Radio.
Scott Radio.
What's going on, everybody? This is Ben Schneider back again for another episode of The Ben Schneider Show. My guest today is Courtney Robenolt. So, Courtney, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. You've been in here before, right?
I have been in here before.
One show or two shows?
One show is for Impressionable People with Zeke and Spencer. And
Okay.
then I've been in here to film stuff for Exit 17.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, so how was your break?
It was really fun. I went back home and I watched a few movies and I played a lot of games. I learned how to play backgammon.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so home is New York for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Upstate New York.
Okay.
Yep.
How was your drive there and back and everything?
The drive there, we got stuck in Boston traffic and Thanksgiving traffic. So it took double the time, but the way back, we got here record time.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
I was the opposite because I
Yeah.
headed back last night.
Oh,
So,
oof.
yeah.
Traffic.
Well, it was the traffic and the weather.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got up at like 5:30 to drive back to try to beat all the traffic, and I did because I was home in just over 6 hours,
Oh, that's good.
and only had to stop once. And then on the way back, I went to church with my family in the morning, went out to lunch, and then got on the road, and the weather just got worse and worse. So
No.
I was in a little bit of traffic, and then just major snowstorm as soon as I got into like Connecticut and stuff. So the road's not been treated yet.
Oh, no.
So it was bad.
How long did it take you?
I don't know. I got here around 10:30, so 9
Oof.
hours. So yeah, I'd
Oof.
like add an extra 3 hours on. I had to stop a couple times at a rest station just to like fix my wipers because there was snow building up underneath them. So yeah, that was a interesting experience. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I learned my lesson now. Check the forecast and maybe
Yeah.
plan accordingly. But well, Courtney, I just want to start by getting into the very beginning with you. So tell me about your early life, where you grew up, and ultimately what brought you here to Gordon.
Cool. I grew up in Liverpool, New York, which is a little village. Well, I was in the village of Liverpool, which is right outside of the city of Syracuse. It's in upstate New York. I was talking with my roommate Jamie today because she didn't realize the Erie Canal goes like right through that area, and we have some of our streets are bricked over because they used to be the Erie Canal. So that's just fun fact. But it was a little village that I lived in, and so you could walk to the library and the little supermarket store and the church and the park, and it was fun. Yeah. I could also walk to school. That was fun.
Nice.
When I was in second grade, I could walk to school. I was an adult then because I could walk to school.
I lived pretty close to school too. I never
You did?
walked, but it was like only a mile away. So
Oh, that's pretty far.
Yeah.
Still though, close.
yeah.
But
Well, I run cross country, so
Well, nothing for you.
miles not too far for me. But yeah, we drove most of the time.
you like walk 15 miles now. This is nothing.
That's a 4-minute mile, so I don't know about that, but
Wow, that's fast. For
Yeah.
me. That'd be fast.
no, that's like my 100-meter pace.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. I can do a 6-minute mile pretty comfortably.
Cool.
Haven't quite broken the 5-minute barrier yet, but
Yeah. And I got to Gordon. In high school, I took a bunch of film classes, and there was actually only 2 film classes, but my teacher just let me take them over and over again because I liked them. And then I liked film. And when I was looking for colleges, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I tried to cancel out things that I didn't want to do. So I was like, I don't want to do math. I don't want to do science, anything in those fields. And then I just kind of liked film. And then a lot of schools were art schools, and I didn't know if I wanted to do film 100%, film production. So when I visited Gordon, which was the only out-of-state school and the only Christian school that I looked at, they had communications, which was a lot more than film, and they also had the Los Angeles Film Studies program. So I thought, wow, this is a good school. And then also the people were really nice here. And now I'm here.
yeah. And you're doing that program
I am.
next semester, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to get you in here this month, so
Yes.
that because I know you're going to be away next semester.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you were a swimmer, right?
I
in high
was a
school?
swimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that your main sport?
That was. When I was younger, I tried to do a lot of different things. I did dance, gymnastics, lacrosse, and then I did diving in middle school, and then I was a terrible diver, but then swimming was pretty close. So I did swimming my last 4 years of high school, and I also did it year-round a few times, and I got decent. I made varsity, but it took me a while. But I got the warm-ups, the varsity warm-ups, and I wore them the last weekend of the season. I wore them as like pajamas. I wore them to the mall. Yeah.
What was your best race and stroke and everything?
I usually did backstroke, and I usually did 100 backstroke, 100-meter back. So that was 4 laps. Yeah.
4 laps and I guess, so 25-meter pool?
25-meter pool, yeah.
Okay.
And I cannot remember my best time. It was probably like 1 minute, 12 seconds. But I made sectionals my junior year of high school, and then I didn't make varsity because I think it's probably the same for cross country. You like make certain times.
Sure, yeah.
I'm not really sure about that.
Yeah, you hit times, you earn, at least the way my school did it, you hit a certain time, you get a certain number of varsity points, but if you had enough varsity points at the end of the year, you got your letter.
Okay. We didn't have varsity points. We just had if you made a certain cut time, you made varsity.
Okay,
but
sure.
So I made the sectional cut time, but then I didn't make the varsity cut time my junior year, and so I was so disappointed. But then I swam the entire year round, and then my senior year, I made sectional cut, and then at sectionals, I made the varsity cut. So it was really close, but I did it.
Yeah. Did you ever think about swimming here?
I did. I tried to join the team last year.
Oh, really?
I was on the team for a week, but then I sprained my ankle, and I also just was so busy with Exit 17 that I couldn't do it. So I quit, and I feel really bad.
Yeah.
But
would you want to get back into that maybe your senior year? Or?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
I would. If I have the time, I would.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Exit 17. Are you still involved with that?
I'm not.
Okay.
I did it last year, and I was the director of the film team. So I was in charge of coordinating the people who were under me not under me, we worked together. But I was in charge of coordinating them to film and do lights and sound and edit, and then also working with the actors. It was a lot of work. And now Rachel Baldigo does it.
Sure.
She actually lives really close to me, so back at home in Liverpool. So that was kind of fun. But I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. I'm kind of ashamed to say this. I had never been to an Exit 17 show until the last one y'all did. And I don't know, I feel like, were you the Columbia Pictures?
I was. That was me.
Figure outside the Pell?
That was me.
Was that an old thing that you all shot a while back, or?
No, that was like a week or 2 weekends ago. I went and I helped Rachel. Okay. I was free that weekend.
So you are still involved?
A little bit,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A little bit. I helped you in there. That was me. I act a little bit too. You didn't know this about me. I don't act.
Okay. Well, I thought you did a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you said you were looking at film when you came here to Gordon. How did you get interested in that, and what have been some of your favorite classes that you've taken here to advance further in that career path?
I got interested in it in high school when I took it was a 2-part film class. The first part was more film analysis, and the second part was film production. And I took the film analysis, and I thought, this is so cool. We're breaking down movies. And I when I was young, really young, my sister and I have a younger sister, her and I would reenact movies and plays, and we'd make up our own skits and plays. We have so many home videos of us as spies, and it's so bad. They're all silent films, but it's really funny. Which I didn't realize we did that many skits and stuff, but we did a lot. So I got to high school, and we were making films with like a camcorder, and before it was just our big chunky home video. So I was like, such equipment, wow. And I really liked it. And I really liked film editing at first. I still do, but I really like sound editing now. But film editing was cool because you could take 2 things that had no context with each other and put them together and make a different meaning. I thought that was so cool. But
yeah. So are you TAing for intro now?
I
Is
am.
Okay.
It's actually going on right now, but I'm here.
Yeah, you were telling me you were trying to
Yeah.
get out of that to get here, but
Sorry. I'm
Yeah.
here.
I took that class last spring.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
With Thurman?
yes, with Thurman.
Yes.
Oh, his last semester here.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the first day, like I haven't even sat down in my chair yet, and Jess was our TA for that class, and she's handing out the Unit 1 project, and I see music video, and I'm like panicking, like what? I haven't even put my stuff down yet, and I'm being told I got to make a music video. I have no idea how any of this works and everything, but I don't know. I survived. It wasn't too difficult. But yeah, I'm definitely more of the journalism, broadcasts, which is what we're doing right now. That's more the path I want to take, I think. But
Awesome.
it's helpful to have. I'm glad I did the class because it's helpful to have that experience in video editing if it's ever something I need. So yeah. What kind of films do you like in general? Just what's your favorite movie genre?
I have like top. Whenever people ask me, I say, well, these are my top 3 favorite movies. It's Silence of the Lambs. It used to be The Shining, but I'm thinking of a different one. I don't know. I haven't filled in that slot yet. But then my third favorite movie is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder. So like The Shining and Willy Wonka, not really the same genre.
I've seen Willy Wonka. I don't think I've seen
good.
The Shining, but
Or Silence of the Lambs. I can't remember.
yeah, I don't think I've seen that one either.
It's good.
Yeah.
I was interning at my church over the summer doing film stuff, and they would ask me the same thing. They'd say, what are your favorite movies? And I said, Silence of the Lambs. And it's about an FBI agent, and she's trying to hunt down a serial killer. And everyone at my church was surprised that that was my favorite movie.
Yeah, are you an Avengers fan at all?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was never really a big movie person. I've been trying to watch more classics and get into that. I don't know. I prefer video games where I feel like I'm controlling and writing the story myself. But yeah, my sister's been trying to get me into the whole MCU, and I don't know, just something clicked this summer. It wasn't like one specific film. I just kept watching a bunch over and over, and I was like, this is fantastic. Why did it take me 11 years to get into this? So the whole summer was basically trying to watch all the films that I needed to see before I saw Endgame, so I could go. I ended up seeing Endgame in theaters in August, so it was like the re-release, and
cool.
we almost have a theater to ourselves at this point. Yeah, not quite, but yeah. So she was like, The Incredible Hulk, you can skip that film.
I haven't even seen that one. That's the only one I haven't seen.
That was the last one my sister saw.
Oh.
But yeah, I guess there's really only one scene that matters for the continuity. I think it's the credit scene where Stark comes back out to talk to General Ross. But yeah, so she was like, you can skip that, but you have to see Infinity War. Obviously, you have to see Civil War and some of the more major films like that. But yeah, I'm still trying to get caught up. You haven't finished them all yet? I haven't finished them all yet. I don't know. Do you have a favorite?
Well, I can say Iron Man 2 is my least favorite.
Okay. I have seen that one.
Did you like it? Sorry, it's like your favorite, and I'm like, it's awful.
No, I haven't. Well, I don't know. I liked the scenes at Monaco, obviously. But
yeah. Okay. Okay. My bad.
Well, but I'm trying to remember. My sister doesn't like Iron Man 3. I don't know. She saw half of it and couldn't make it through the whole movie the first time because she was so disinterested. But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember thinking anything bad about the movie when I was watching it, but I know it's generally toward the bottom.
Yeah.
In most people's rankings, I feel like.
I like any of the Captain America ones. I just like Captain America.
Yeah.
And Ant-Man.
I think Winter Soldier is generally considered the best. Yeah. Out of all of them. And you like Ant-Man?
I do. A lot of people don't like it, but I think it's funny.
Yeah, I think Ant-Man is so underrated, I think.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I was watching I think it was IGN did a ranking of all 23 films, and one of their criticisms for Ant-Man and the Wasp was that it didn't really advance the MCU at a time we needed, and I was thinking to myself, it set up the whole quantum realm theory thing that led to time travel, which led to the entire plot of Endgame. So how can you say that? But yeah, I think my top 3 favorite characters are Hulk, Spider-Man and Ant-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'll go to my grave bitter that Hulk never got a second solo film. But
Man. I mean, and now they have like Black Widow, I think, is having a film.
Yeah,
Hulk
Black
still
Widow
has a chance.
yeah, well, I think that's part of a deal because Universal has the rights to Hulk and Sony has the rights to Spider-Man.
Oh.
So those 3 films will never be on Disney Plus.
No.
Because
No.
So I think they've got 4 on Netflix now, and once those contracts run out, Disney Plus will bring those on, but they're not going to get the Incredible Hulk or either of the Spider-Mans because they don't have the full rights to them. But I think Sony and Disney, obviously, I mean, we could spend the whole show talking about
Yeah.
the whole fiasco at the start of this year, but I think Universal's deal was something like, okay, look, we'll let you make a solo film, and it's not even an origin story because they just kind of recap the origin story in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But you can have your solo film, but after that, we're not going to let you make any more Hulk movies, but you can use Hulk in as many Avengers movies and other MCU movies you want. So I don't know. I feel like Ruffalo's got a contract for a few more movies, though. So
I hope so.
We'll see what they do with him. Infinity War or Endgame? Which one did you
I liked
like better?
Infinity War better.
Okay.
Or
I feel
did I
like
say that wrong? Yeah, Infinity.
yeah. I feel like Infinity War's better as a cinematic production, but I don't know. I like seeing the good guys win. I like all the callbacks and the conclusions.
Yes.
So like, if I had to just watch one movie, I'd watch Endgame. But I do feel like, I don't know. Infinity War is just so brilliant.
It is, and people thought something bad was gonna happen too. They're like, this can't go completely right. But it was so shocking at the end. It was just so good, and Endgame is definitely one for the fans because everybody's in it. It's so amazing. This has been building for years, but there are a few problems that I have with Endgame, which I won't get into now because it'll take forever.
It's not perfect, but
it's,
I don't know.
It is
I
cool.
still love it. It's a great film nonetheless. Yeah. So, okay, I want to ask you, Pokemon Go.
Yes.
Let's get into that.
Yes.
A little bit, or I guess just Pokemon in general, because I don't know. Have you been a Pokemon fan all your life?
No, but kind of. So, I'm the oldest child, and I have a younger sister. So I didn't grow up with boys or anything. So growing up, my mom didn't like grow up with Pokemon or anything. Well, not grow up, but she wasn't exposed to it. So when I was younger, I wasn't exposed to it either. But I got a Game Boy Color when I was really young, and they had a Pokemon game, so I played that. But that's like the only thing I knew about Pokemon, and I was so bad at it. But I played that when I was younger, and then I watched Indigo League when I was younger. But I cannot remember like half of it for the life of me. But then when Pokemon Go first came out, I played it, and then there was like glitches, and so I didn't play it. But then I came back to school this past semester, and a lot of my friends had it, and so I got it too, and I've been playing it.
Okay, yeah. So I got started with the Game Boy Advance games. So like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, I think was. I guess Pearl was my first one. Then I went back to the GBA games. But yeah, one of my childhood friends played it, and I don't know. I just got so. I guess I'm 7 years old at the time, so all these creatures and everything, so cute, and I don't know. I wanted to play it for myself, so for Christmas I got a DS and Pokemon Pearl, and that was my first exposure to it.
Cool.
And I kept playing the games for a few years. I think the last game I bought was Pokemon Black, which I got like halfway through and then just kind of faded away. I don't know. I don't know if I outgrew it or what it was, or if other games took up my interest instead. But yeah, then Pokemon Go comes out, and people who I had no idea were Pokemon fans, or maybe weren't even Pokemon fans, who just wanted to see what the game was, because everybody was playing it.
Oh yeah.
So I downloaded it too, and then I don't know. I sent you that article, right?
Yeah,
did you
from
get
your
a chance to read? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Heard some of it.
yeah, you want me to tell the story?
Yeah, it's a good story.
So I'm playing the game, and it turns out, so I live in this small historic district of old Newcastle. There's a restaurant that George Washington ate at.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know if he was here for a wedding or something like that. I don't know the whole story. But the town's older than the country. So there are a lot of historical sites and plaques and areas. And if you play Pokemon Go, you know that those tend to be Pokestops. Yeah. So it was probably the best place, unless you wanted to go into like Philadelphia or like a major city. Like it's probably the best place in the whole tri-state area. Like southeastern Pennsylvania and that area of New Jersey and Delaware. Like probably the best place in all that area to play the game. And we just had, I mean, people would drive their whole families 30 minutes to this little park and this little town, and it was just an invasion. So what was once this peaceful park had kind of exploded into this, massive Pokemon town. And all the poor residents, like they like people on the Strand is like our main street, First Street. It's just what we call it. Second Street, Third Street, like they couldn't park their cars on the street because all the Pokemon tourists were invading Battery Park and everything. And there's a bunch of, I don't know how much all of this is true, but because I live on Fifth Street, so I'm kind of, I mean there are stops around, but like I'm not down at the park. But there were stories about people walking into gardens at 2 a.m. to, do business and all sorts of flattering stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll put a link in the description of a YouTube video to the article because it really is something. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and family friends of my grandmother, some of our neighbors actually made it into the news journal because they were like leading the charge of. It was like the residents versus the players and the city, and the city was trying to get in touch with Niantic. So actually, if you play the game now, the park's open from dawn to dusk. So like after sunset, the Pokestops actually close.
Oh.
So if you go into the park after dusk, which you're technically not supposed to do because it's closed anyway,
right.
but the security's not too tight, so you could. But if you try to spin the Pokestop, it'll tell you it's actually closed. So
That's
the idea,
crazy.
the idea was that it would keep people away after hours. But yeah, I don't know. I was on my missions trip in Mexico actually, and so this is where the story gets even funnier. My friend is really into golf, and he was telling me about some tournament or something that was going on, and I love the guy, and I know he loves golf so much. Like I'll watch it. It's not my main thing. But I figure, I should probably just download the PGA app on my phone just so that like I can stay up to date, and I know he's going to love to tell me stuff about what's going on. So I go to download the PGA app, and my phone doesn't have enough space. So I've got to find an app that I'm going to delete to get rid of it. And so I just decided, you know what, I read that article just came out recently. I don't want to be seen as one of them by the
folks.
People in the, so I deleted the app, and that was that for a good, I don't know, 6 months at least. But yeah, I got back here and thought, you know what, I hear the game's had some updates, let's see if it's changed at all. And turns out college is, again, a lot of residence halls and plaques and stuff and
great for
sites in the woods. Yeah. So...
Yeah.
And the people here are actually mature and respectful.
They are really respectful.
Yes. So it's been fun to kind of rediscover. And like I know people take it super seriously and like are doing every raid they can. Like I've never been like that into it. I don't know. I guess I can't imagine like if raids were a thing when the game first came out, how much worse the town would have even been. But yeah, so
crazy.
Yeah, keep in mind this is 3 years ago, so there were no raids. There like player versus player battles weren't a thing. Like there was a lot less. I mean, I guess people from the same team could go to gyms, could go to the same gym, but like there was a lot less player to player interaction back then. So just imagine if there had been that, just and all constant communication, people trying to organize groups, like it would have been even worse. But yeah, it's been fun here.
It has been fun.
Yeah, playing with the little group in the group chat that we've got going.
So for Christmas break, I'm going home for a week, and then I'm driving out to California for the Los Angeles program. So I knew it was just going to be me and my mom and my stepdad. But Pokemon. So I made my mom get Pokemon, and when I was home for Thanksgiving, we went around the village where I grew up because we just moved to right outside of there. And where we live now, there's no Pokestops because it's a residential area, but the village there's little stops, kind of like here and probably back at your house. There's a lot of historic little places, so the village is really good. So my mom and I went the other day at like 6 p.m. It was dark and really cold, but we were just going around getting all the stops. That was fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's calmed down a lot.
It has.
Which is good, I guess.
Yes.
But yeah, there's part of me that's just like, I don't know, because it was so bad that one day my grandmother lives on the Strand. I live on 5th Street, so it was about 4 blocks away. So I'm just walking back from my grandmother's, and I'm not even playing the game. Like I still have the game at this point, but I'm texting somebody. So I've got my phone out, and this older woman, she's got to be like 55, 60, who I don't know. Like we make eye contact briefly, and she looks at me and she's like, "You playing Pokemon? Looking for Pokemon?" And I was like,
"No, man.
No, I'm texting," which I probably would have even done even if I had been playing the game because I didn't want to get even more of an evil eye. But yeah, it was pretty tense for a few months there. More than a few months now when I think about it. But yeah. So have you gotten back into like, I don't know, I guess they've got Switch games now for Pokemon?
Yeah. Well, I have a Switch, but I don't have the Pokemon game.
Okay.
Colin told me not to get it.
Colin Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's played it probably, right?
He has, yeah.
What does he not like about it?
I think the graphics. I'm not sure. You
Okay.
have to ask him.
You know,
Colin.
Yeah. Just the other day, I was looking back at, I don't know, it was an old strategy guide or something, or some image came up. It was a screenshot from Pokemon Pearl, and I was like, I did not realize just how bad the graphics were until you go back and like, I guess they're good for 2007, like this little screen on a handheld, but like nowadays it's pathetic if you compare it to what we have now. But yeah, I've got an Xbox One and a PS4.
Cool.
So I don't know that I need to complete the trifecta of game consoles just to play the Pokemon games.
You get like a really old.
Yeah. And I'd probably rather go back and finish the DS games I started but never completed, if anything. But yeah, well, I want to get into this. We're in media criticism now.
Yes.
So what's that class been like? I mean, obviously I know because I'm in it, but what have you enjoyed?
I've enjoyed. So I really like. This is just a different class. Perspectives on Communication, which
sure.
Were you in that one too with me?
With Dr. Gardner. Yep.
Yeah, that one was I loved that one. And so this one's a little bit, media criticism's a little bit different than Perspectives on Comp, but it's still kind of similar in theories of communication and theories of how media influences us and different ways that it does. I've really liked learning about those theories. And we have a paper due Wednesday, which I have almost completed.
Yes, I was so glad. I was like just about to go to bed when I got the email that it was, I guess extended's the right word, because you could have turned it in today, but
I had another essay due today.
I'll take advantage of the extra 2 days for sure. Yeah.
So
I really liked Perspectives, actually.
I did too.
Yeah, that was a class that, like, going into it, I thought, like, okay, communication theory and all that. I thought it was just going to be a bunch of PowerPoints and lectures, and it was actually just the opposite. Like, almost every day we were getting up out of our desks, moving around, doing exercises as a group. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I did too.
Yeah, so we have this paper and this project and presentation that we're doing. So what's your artifact that you chose?
Cool. I'm doing Legend of Korra, which is the spin-off sequel. No. It's Avatar: The Last Airbender, the sequel to that, kind of.
Actually, I want to just divert real quick.
Yes.
Because I know you said you're film and movies, obviously.
Yes.
I know I never watched the TV series on Nick, either one. So I don't know a whole lot, but I have seen the movie,
Oh,
The
no.
Last Airbender.
Oh, no.
And it was like 8 years ago, and I know nothing that's going on eventually, but I do know that it's considered by many to be one of the worst films ever.
Yes.
Like not just in a genre, not just like ever.
Yeah.
So what makes it so awful?
So I have not seen it. I haven't seen it because I know it's so bad. I've seen clips of it, and I can tell you just from that why it's so bad. Ugh. Well, first of all, it's way different than the TV show. And the TV show is so good. But
is it live action?
The TV show is not live action.
Yeah, I knew the TV show was
animated,
not,
but the movie's live action.
Okay. So is it based on a TV show?
It is. It's supposed to be, but
It's supposed to be. Okay.
it's supposed to be. What makes the live action movie so bad is several things. One, they rely so much on narration, which if you take a video production class, they say narration is like kind of fine, but you shouldn't do a lot of it. But a lot of it relies on narration, voiceover, and it just the way the story unfolds is not great.
Yeah.
But
I just pulled up the Wikipedia page, and the lead says the film was universally panned by critics, audiences, and fans of the original animated series alike upon its release, with many reviewers citing inconsistencies between the plot, screenplay, and source material, as well as deriding the acting, writing, casting, and dialogue.
The acting's not good, and other things, so a lot of the main characters are supposed to be from, Native American cultures or Asian cultures, and the main characters are not. The Sokka and Katara they're white, so that's not like a huge plot deal, but it's just something people were like, they're supposed to be this tribe. But Zuko is the Fire Prince, and in the show he has the scar over his eye that his father gave him, and that's a huge part of his character and his character development because it marks him. And then in the movie, it's just a little mark. You can barely even see it. And so people are upset about that. Also, they say their names wrong. In the show, it's supposed to be Aang, and in the movie they say Ong, which is different. Also, when they last point. I could go on forever. When you do the moves to bend things, the movements correspond with what happens to the elements. And so, this is really hard in an audio show.
Yeah,
so
be as descriptive as, I can see it, obviously.
Stomp your feet on the ground, and a huge pillar will come up from the earth. So, stomping pillar. But in the movie, they, do this really intricate dance, and it's so long. It's, 10 seconds. And then just, a small boulder floats by really slowly. That you just had to look up that scene later. It's so bad.
We watched it. We were at a friend's house, and I don't know. I don't remember anything from the movie. All I remember is somebody off to the side said, "You're right. The acting is really bad."
Yeah,
but,
it's so bad.
Yeah. So, but I guess clearly the TV shows are pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah.
So I'm sorry. You said it was. Is it a sequel or a spinoff or both?
Kind of. Yeah. It's kind of a sequel, but it takes place 40, 60. I don't know. It takes place a long time after. So it Aang and Katara get married. Spoiler. Ooh. And
I don't care about spoilers. But.
And so then this is Aang has passed away, and so there's a new avatar, and she's 15, and Katara has kids, and they have kids who are little. So it's a long time after.
What's the main point? What were you trying to argue in your paper?
I'm trying to argue. I forgot what criticism I'm doing, and that's so bad. I think I'm doing narrative criticism.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I'm doing generic.
So
that's
cool. And you're doing Family Feud?
Millionaire. You got the genre right. It's a game show, but
nice.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
I could have done Family Feud, I guess. Yeah, I've got some
Did you
things.
like Millionaire?
Yeah. I like them all, but I've got some things to say about Family Feud
Cool.
too.
I'm excited. I'm trying to talk about how the format of the show influences, how the format of the show is important to how they got the messages across. So because it's an animated show and the form of it, that it's animated and kind of geared towards kids, is helpful to how they get the messages out, which don't really know what criticism fits best. So I picked narrative, but we're going to see how that turns out in my essay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess one of the nice things about generic is if you don't have one that it really fits, then you can, yeah. So I'm doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which is the game show that was made famous in prime time with Regis Philbin, and then lived a long life in syndication and kind of died a slow, painful death, and finally died this summer.
Sad.
Yeah. So my criticism is basically just going to be how the syndicated show was run and produced and evolved into something that wasn't even Millionaire anymore.
Oh,
So,
cool.
Yeah, and I've got it's sad because like I grew up watching reruns on the Game Show Network with Regis, and it was like this show is amazing, and then you look at it, what it became, just with the whole shuffle format and the fact that nobody was winning $1 million. Like when the name of your show is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and nobody's winning the top prize, you know, that's I mean, I'm not saying it should be easy to win, but you know, it was. So that was probably the biggest reason I think why you know who's going to tune into the show when you know like the stakes would ideally be high, but if nobody's won it in years, why is it going to be any different if I turn it on now? But
I didn't watch it in its later years.
Yeah. Well, some people didn't even know it was on in its later years because I mean Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune like have the slots right before prime time in most markets, so those are really desirable. I don't know, Millionaire was usually lumped in with the talk shows that last 2 or 3 years before another celebrity gets a talk show, and so not the most desirable time slots for it, but so I'm looking forward to presenting. I've got to finish a PowerPoint, throw that all together. So I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about while you're here? Do you have? We got like 20 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I mean, we can end before that if we don't have to fill the whole clock. But yeah, I mean, you're a Marvel fan, obviously. I don't know, have you looked at Phase 4 at all? Are you excited?
I've looked at it a little bit, but I haven't been that too much into it.
Yeah. Well, Black Widow is coming out in May. I guess that's the.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I don't know how it's going to be weird because, like, Disney Plus was just released now, so they're going to put a lot of a series on. I guess that's the incentive to, and we're going to get Disney Plus as a family eventually, I think. Like, I think the Marvel and Star Wars content alone is, like, enough reason, like, it makes it worth it because it's cheaper than Netflix anyway. But, yeah, I'm just, you know, when I look at everything that's available, it's like, in some ways, it's kind of nice. Like, the selection is so massive, but at the same time, I'm reminded, like, of just how much Disney owns and how much of a monopoly they are. Because it's like, it's so weird seeing The Simpsons under a Disney logo. Like,
yes!
Like,
I didn't even know. I have Disney Plus. I share with my sister. Well, it's hers.
Well, because they bought 21st Century Fox.
Yeah.
So now they have...
Yeah. It's... Crazy.
That was what everybody was saying during the whole Spider-Man thing. It was like, well, if you can't work a deal with Sony, just buy Sony, and then you've got everything.
Oh my gosh.
But
that's something we talked about in perspective on communication.
Well,
like Comcast is so much.
Yeah. Have you seen I don't know. There's been like a 15-second YouTube ad where like the Simpsons come out, like Homer's in an Iron Man suit, and Bart doesn't want to put the Mickey Mouse ears on, and I don't know. Somebody's dressed as Bo Peep, I think, and
like Toy Story.
Yeah, well, and Pixar, obviously, because all those are on.
Wow, they have so much.
Yeah, there's just so much content there, but Yeah, so they've got I guess, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I'm excited about.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I feel like Endgame. Like I know I said it has some problems, but like you could not have picked a better closing scene. Like Cap finally getting that dance with Peggy was great. And of course handing the shield off to Sam. But yeah, and then WandaVision I guess is also filming right now. So
I love Wanda. I was her for Halloween a few years ago, and I don't think I took any pictures of my costume, and I made it, and I'm so upset that I didn't take any pictures.
Yeah. And then they've got the Loki series is coming out, which I guess is going to be. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that because I guess it's 2012 Loki. Like I feel like the only reason, like part of a plot with Endgame, I guess, was to set up some of these shows. Because Loki gets the Tesseract and then
disappears.
Yeah, because 2018 Loki's dead.
Yes.
Because Thanos killed him. But
and that's something that's so confusing with Endgame.
Yeah, I feel like that's part. Like it's a great film to watch, but then when you try to think like wrap your head around the whole time travel thing, it's like. How does this work? How do we have alternate timelines now if we've got this Loki?
I forget
thing
how
going?
Somebody explained it to me, but it's not. Well, it's like they say in the show how Scott Lang was talking about Back to the Future and how they're going to disappear. And in the show, in the movie, they said that doesn't work that way. So that's how it's not supposed to work that way. But still, you're like, how am I supposed to think about this? So that time, and like Gamora, it's not actually the one we had seen from the movies, but she's still alive.
Yeah, because Peter sees her during the battle, and it's like, I thought I lost you, and then like she has no idea who he is.
Yeah. Because
it's not her.
It is her, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's so confusing. But.
Yeah. Well, and then we got this, this What If series is coming out. Which
Do you know what that is? I've only heard a little bit of it.
It's animated. But it's, I think it's like, I don't know. Is it?
I've heard it's something, it's asking what if this happened.
Yeah, it's like alternate scenarios in the MCU, I think.
Yeah.
And there are going to be 23 episodes,
so
apparently,
intrigued.
which is like all the other shows, I think, are only getting 6. But, yeah. So that'll be interesting. And Hawkeye's the last one that we really know a whole lot about, that they announced as part of a slate. Which I guess, like, I don't know. I kind of wish it were a movie, so that, like, because he's going to be the only OG Avenger without a solo film now with Black Widow coming out, but... Yeah, I don't know. I guess they were saying maybe his story might work better as a series if you try to explain it over.
Why can't they make like a Hawkeye film and put Hulk in it?
Yeah,
that would be a win-win.
Yeah, and then Ms. Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk are 3 other series they've ordered. So I guess those will be part of Phase 4, but those are newer announcements, so we don't know as much about those yet.
I haven't really watched any of the past Marvel shows, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Carter. I didn't watch any of those. Even the ones that aren't Marvel, like Arrow and, Daredevil's Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't.
It was a Netflix show, I think.
Yeah,
but,
I didn't
I don't know.
those.
I don't know anything about Daredevil.
Arrow's not, but
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah. So then Black Widow... And The Eternals is coming out in November. I
keep mixing Eternals up with something else, and I want to say it's The Boys, which is on Amazon, and I know nothing about. So I don't know why I keep mixing it up, but I think that's what I keep thinking it is.
Yeah, and then Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings is the first. I don't know too much about those characters, but that'll be 2021.
Cool.
And then the Doctor Strange sequel as well, which I hear is kind of, like, is that going to be like a horror film?
Yes.
I think something like that.
Yeah, and I think Wanda's going to be in it too.
Right. Yeah, I think they were saying there's going to be some character crossover there.
That's exciting.
Yeah, the Untitled Spider-Man Far From Home sequel. Yeah, I mean, I guess Sony controls a lot of that too, but I don't know. I'm anxiously waiting for a title on that. I guess it has to have home in the name, right?
Yeah, Homecoming, Far From Home.
Yeah. I think,
joke one.
yeah, people are joking about homeless.
Yeah,
I think,
that's
right?
the one.
Because of
Homeless.
that mid-credits scene. That's why, like, I feel like if Far From Home had just ended, like, without that scene, and then Sony and Disney break down and there's no deal, it's like, well, okay, that's disappointing. But like, how can you not resolve that scene now? Like, his identity's been...
right?
Yeah. Yeah, so
They
that's...
have to.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that, because that's like unprecedented in a Spider-Man film for Peter's identity. But I don't know, is Mysterio like not really dead, and is Peter seeing this vision that he's projecting, so like it didn't actually happen? Like, I don't know how they're gonna resolve that. But yeah. And J. Jonah Jameson's always a win.
Yes.
So like, I hope we get more of him in the future.
I was so excited to see him. I went to see it with my mom, and
Yeah.
she didn't know who he was, and I said, "Mom, no, he's in the." Oh.
I was glad I'd seen Raimi's trilogy, because like I would have had no idea otherwise. But yeah, and then Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't know about that one.
I don't know.
Like,
so
yeah,
I'm just
I mean,
interested.
Yeah,
Curious.
I'll probably see it just because it is MCU. But and we got still almost 2 years before it comes out. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Natalie Portman.
Oh
is
yeah,
Thor,
I
that's like,
forgot. So is Chris Hemsworth not even in it?
I don't know, because he's joined the Guardians now.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I think he's gonna be in.
Guardians.
I feel like Thor will be in
3.
Guardians 3.
And then
Because that's how Endgame ends. Is the Guardians are
Right.
back on their ship and Thor's there. Because
but how does Natalie Portman become Thor?
yeah, I
How
don't.
does she get those powers?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess he might be in it. But it's gonna be Jane Foster's film.
Cool.
Natalie Portman's film. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think the jury's still out on that one. Probably the one I'm least excited about. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good, but
People liked Ragnarok, and that one was way different, and I think people were really surprised about that one. That it was just
she's not even in Ragnarok.
Yeah, she
so,
hasn't been in them. She was in Endgame.
Yeah,
but,
for like
the back
2
of
seconds.
her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw do you watch CinemaSins on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, so the Endgame one like just came out,
Oh, I haven't seen it.
and they get to that scene with Natalie, and they say, Natalie Portman's in this movie like for such a low amount of time. Like, I'm not convinced the directors just didn't like film her waking up as the sun was hitting her face, or I forget exactly how they phrased it, but
She wasn't actually on.
yeah, like she wasn't even aware that she was.
That's so funny. CinemaSins is so good. We watched one for Tarzan the other day, and we also watched one for one of the. Was that Star Wars?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that, because we've got that coming out in less than 3 weeks now.
My gosh.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new ones. I just watched. Is it Force Awakens?
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just watched that one the other day.
Okay, so that's like Rey's.
That's the only. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the only new one I've seen. But
You've seen the originals and the prequels?
yes,
Okay.
and I haven't seen like the TV shows. The Clone Wars. The
Clone
TV
War-
show?
yeah,
I
I
haven't
don't-
seen those, but I'm watching The Mandalorian.
Okay. Yeah, I've yet to hear a bad thing about The Mandalorian.
I know some people don't like it, but they don't really say bad things about it. They just are like,
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah. So you haven't seen The Last Jedi?
No.
Okay. I personally hate it. I just I don't know. I won't spoil too much for you.
Okay.
But
Thanks.
some people, yeah. Well, you've seen Empire, right? It's generally considered the best by most. So some people thought it was better than Empire, and other people thought it was worse than Attack of the Clones. Like there was so much divide, and it was like this.
Whoa.
And it is. It still is this civil war between fans. There's a lot of the fan base is super toxic. Like they think hope's already lost for the Rise of Skywalker, but yeah, I don't know.
I still have hope.
There's a new hope.
A new
right?
hope. Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Johnson's gone, so I think Abrams is a better director. So
Did he do?
I think he did The Force Awakens. Yeah, but I think Force Awakens for me isn't awful. It's just like it's literally A New Hope.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like there's.
This is when I was watching it. You'd think this was my thought process. You'd think after like the third time of building a Death Star-like ship with the same like defense mechanism with the shields and everything.
Yeah,
they'd make a better defense system.
The last Death Star worked great. Yeah, let's build a new one that looks exactly the same. It'll have the exact same problems happen to it.
Right? You have to first disable the shields and then get into this little crevice and hit this one little spot, and then the entire thing will blow up.
Yeah.
Defense.
Yeah, Jeez. My main problem is how they've treated the old cast, because I feel like what we've learned in the new trilogy is that Han and Leia failed as parents, and Luke went off to this island and became this he was supposed to be this hero, and now he's this disinterested jerk who didn't care about the next generation of Jedi, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like, and then these trailers, you hear no one's ever really gone, and it's Palpatine. But I thought Anakin destroyed Palpatine, and so I don't know. Nothing like undoing the original 6 films, but although I don't know, jury's still out. I'm refraining judgment until I see it.
Maybe they're just trying to trick us.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you should be as hyped for it. Like, I saw it outsold Endgame like in the first 24 hours or something in the pre-ticket sales. But
cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more excited for The Mandalorian and Kenobi than I am The Rise of Skywalker, just because The Last Jedi just didn't do it for me.
Have you seen Solo and Rogue One?
I have.
Did you like those?
I liked both of them. I know Solo was kind of a flop for several reasons. But I don't know. I didn't think it was terrible. I don't know. One of my friends actually sent a tweet out a while back that said, "Imagine saying Disney ruined Star Wars when Rogue One, Solo, and The Mandalorian exist." So then I replied, "Well, is it at least fair to say they ruined the Skywalker saga?" Because, I don't know. We'll see how they conclude it all. I'm anxious for the date to get here so we can see how it all draws to a close. But.
I'm excited. I've never gone and seen one, not live, but
in the theater.
Yeah, I've never, because I was not born, and then I was like 4, and then I just didn't see the last 2.
I go back and rewatch and like tweak 1 or 2 rankings every now and then, but I'd say for me it's probably 5, 4, 6, 3, 7, 1, 8, 2 is probably how I'd order it.
4, 6,
3,
yeah.
I don't know. The originals are great. I don't know. I think Revenge of the Sith is actually pretty good. I think. I don't know. I know some people lump it in with it's the prequel trilogy. I don't like, but I think when you look at it as an individual movie, it's pretty good. And like I said, The Force Awakens wasn't awful, it seems repetitive. I like The Phantom Menace. Like I'll say this, like if you're listening and like you like The Last Jedi, like you're allowed to like bad movies, because like I like The Phantom Menace. It is a crappy movie, but I still like it. Like I like the comedic effect that it has when you watch it, because it's.
I rewatched it with Jamie the other day,
and
we couldn't remember half of the movie. The pod races take up like a third of it.
I love pod racing.
It's so funny though. We enjoyed ourselves watching it. I can say that for sure.
Okay, but we'll close with this. Howard the Duck, 1986. Have you seen that one?
No.
Okay. You know, it's awesome. It's like The Last Airbender. It's generally considered one of the worst films ever, but but it's technically a Marvel movie. Technically. Yeah. So I just watched it not too long ago, and I mean I enjoyed it. It was a fun use of my time, however long the runtime is, but I didn't regret it. It is an awful movie. It's absolutely terrible, but I enjoyed it because it was I don't know. I was laughing my head off at some of the scenes because it was so bad. So, like, I like the movie, I like watching it, but it is still objectively bad. So, I don't know. I guess that's where we'll end. You know, I guess you're allowed to like bad movies, but as long as you acknowledge that they are, in fact, bad movies.
That is a good sentiment.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming on, Courtney.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I know we've got to get ready for these presentations and papers we got to finish. So yeah, I look forward to hearing from you on Wednesday.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's coming up. I should probably get on that.
Yeah,
once I get out of here. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Write that.
All right. Well, we got one more show coming up before the end of the semester and winter break, so make sure you all stay tuned for that. But for now, I'm Ben Schneider. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good night, everyone.